Today's episode is going to be a bit of a fun one. I'm going to talk to you about all the bad dates that I've experienced and also what I used to normalise. This isn't one of those videos that's like, a man should do this and this is how to get a man. I'm in no position to be giving any advice on stuff like that because I'm still single. But I have the experience in the dating world of things. So many lessons have been learned whilst I've been single. It's not all doom and gloom. I actually like being single, by the way. Yes, I'm ready to meet my man, but has to be the person meant for me, not just they'll do for now kind of man. Essentially, being single for the length of time that I have has just taught me so many things. And I'm a very observant person anyway. Like, I just can't help but be so flipping annoyingly observant. There's so many things that I wish I could just not notice, but I can't. And I guess that's a great natural, I'm gonna say it's a quality that I have because it's helped me learn all these lessons. So yeah, I'm gonna talk you through some of the disasters that have happened with me in the dating game. And yeah, you're probably gonna be hearing some of them like, what the fuck were you doing? I know, I questioned that myself. But those years are done. Like, that was all in my 20s. I was very much of an insecure mindset, seeking validation from a man that wanted me. That was my validation. And because it didn't happen, it was, what's wrong with me, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, they're the kind of reasons I want to share this. I want to shed light on probably patterns that happen, but because these things don't get discussed in such detail, people don't realise it's a very common thing, or, you know, someone could make out that it's just who they are. I already know that's bullshit. So yeah, they're the kind of reasons that I'm doing this video, and obviously let's just have a laugh with it along the way at my expense. So I used to do this availability problem. I would just be very available for the guy that was barely fitting me in. I would be available. Oh, I know, it gives me the ick saying it, but that's just how my poor little mind at the time was working, and that's how I tried to win a guy over, I guess. I thought that that is what will get me a man. And I'm hoping that me sharing things, you no longer allow these kinds of things as well. And also for any guys watching, hopefully there's some pointers in here for you to understand how a woman's mind works. There was one date that I went on with this guy that I met out in a bar in Nottingham, and he didn't drink. And at the time I did. We exchanged numbers and planned the first date. And when we'd gone in the restaurant, one thing I remember was that he walked through the door first and didn't let me go through first, which I'm like, oh, like, don't do that. Always let the lady go through the door first. That's just basic. And I knew he was out of touch with dating. He did tell me he'd come out of a 10, 11-year relationship. So I guess I was like, in the back of my mind, like, oh, don't be too critical. When really, if you can't open the door for the woman, what are you doing? So whilst we were sat waiting for our table, they sat us at another table, like a waiting area space. And there was 2 chairs that were just like circular cushion type seats that spun. And he was fascinated by this spinny chair. So that, I already knew I wasn't gonna be seeing him again. Then when we actually got to the table, it was like an open cooking type table. So there was flames and hot ovens and stuff in front of us, and it was hot in there. And my cheeks go quite flushed when I get hot, or I'm in the sun, or it's cold. Like, temperature, you'll know by my cheeks. They just go rosy. And he made a comment about it, and at the time I was really insecure about my rosy cheeks and just hated when people pointed it out to me. And he said that, like, oh, you've got red cheeks or something. And I was like, yeah, it's hot in here. And then he was like, does that mean that that's how your cheeks go when, you know, talking about like sexual intercourse? And I was like, It's a bit of a weird question to say to me on a first date whilst we're at a restaurant. And there's other people around us at this table, like it was a full shared booth thing. So I've got a stranger next to me, he's got a stranger next to him, and that was the topic of conversation that he chose to discuss with me. It just wasn't good. Another date I went on with a guy that lived in, where did he live? He was about an hour away from me anyway. And he came up to me for the first date. We went to West Bridgford near me, went on a really nice date. And then the second date, I said, I'll come to you. I would probably think differently on that now, more than I did then. I was very helpful to date. And not that you should be unhelpful, but I think you just need to make sure that there's that balance where the guy is prepared to do it regardless, but suggest an offer anyway, you know, out of courtesy. So I drove to him and got myself a hotel because I'm probably going to have a drink. So we went to this nice pub, but the biggest problem was he ended up being 2 hours late for the date. And like saying that out loud now, what was I doing? I'd already booked and paid for this hotel, and I was so close to taking my makeup off and just getting into bed because I was fuming. And then last minute he was like, I'm outside. And obviously I was like, where have you been? Like I had to be annoyed with him in the car. I was so close to just saying, stop the car, I'm getting out. Like it was just really, really awkward. He was just like, I couldn't help it. It was a football game. I didn't know when it was going to finish. Whatever excuses he was throwing at me. And obviously I was like, we had this booked in. You knew I was coming down. We'd set a time. I don't know why you thought there was a 2 hour leeway on that. Like, how do you expect me to behave right now? You're 2 hours late for me. And he just was brushing it off like it's not that big a deal. And I found it incredibly difficult to just carry on the date. I was so enraged with the disrespect that he had. And I guess at that time of my life, I wasn't very quick at acknowledging the disrespect. I would hear them out first, or I would give them the time of day first. But yeah, 2 hours late for a date with me. And then he had the nerve to say, should we go and drink the wine back in your room? Are you okay? This is the last time I'm seeing you. I've just had to get through this stupid date for politeness. And because I don't know where I am. I'm in your city. I haven't got a clue where I am. So yeah, that was eventful. And then, of course, the next day, trying to talk to me like normal. And I was like, done. Like, that was ridiculous. So yeah, so bad. So I guess my life of being single, my dating, has always been very on and off, purely because I'm like, I don't like this dating business. Like, these people are shit. They are not nice people. So then I'd go through phases of not dating anyone, and I'm like, don't come near me. Like, just a lot of lessons have been taught. I've had some really good dates with some guys, don't get me wrong. Like, two of them in particular, I'm still friends with. And we just spoke about the fact that it just wasn't right, it just wasn't working kind of thing, or what, for whatever reason. So yeah, they're not all bad, but none of them have been aligned with me enough to pursue further than first date, second date. No, that's it really. I can't really think of them all now, I'm off the top of my head. But the two that stuck with me was the guy on the spinny chair and the guy that just didn't turn up for 2 hours. What the fuck is that all about? One guy turned up with his foot in a cast. That was interesting. I mean, commitment, fair play. He also drove an hour and a half for me, but again, didn't progress. There was not much there other than surface-based conversations. Yeah, turning up with his foot in a cast. Bless him. And I remember as well, this one guy that I was seeing for a pointless 8 months-ish. I think it was 7 or 8. We had like a Sunday routine schedule. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, it suits me. It did suit me, but if he wanted to see me more, I would have said yes to that. So it clearly, I was just tolerating what he was given. when really I probably wanted more. I should have spoke that, but I didn't want to come across as the, I don't know, disobedient female. Which again is so bad to think that way. Like, this is all an old version of me. Like, poor me to think that way at that time. Lessons learned. But yeah, it was a Sunday thing that we'd spend together, and it was often later in the evening. It wasn't like a full day together, and yeah, it's just screaming alarm bells. But he'd talk all the talk. He'd answer an entire message of anything that I'm raising with him, kind of thing. So I'm like, well, the communication's there. Well, it's not really, is it? It is when he knows he's got to get it right for a little bit so that he can carry on doing what he wants and just part me. But yeah, lots of interesting interactions and just figuring out how people work. And you can really tell by morals for how someone treats you on a date. Like, yes, that's not your woman yet, but she still deserves respect, and you know, she's gone to effort to come on this date with you. And women getting ready compared to men getting ready is a big difference. Yeah, I just think it's polite and respectful to be considerate of the efforts that people go to meet up and go on a date and try and see if it works and get to know each other. Like, I miss the days, I never witnessed the days obviously because it was many, many decades ago, but where you would go to a bar and it was purely find a girl you want to dance with. And then once you've had the dance, you'd go on a date, and then that would be your wife for life. Like, that was just, oh, those times must have been so adorable. Yeah, the dating game for nowadays is just not for me. There's too much choice and everybody thinks the grass is greener. And also I like the 80-20 rule, if you've heard that. If you haven't, I'll share it with you now. Most of the time when people get led astray or start thinking they want something else going on in their life, partner-wise, they've got 80%, but they're still seeking this 20%. So then they'll go out and find this 20%, but then lose the 80%. So now they've got 20%, but you had 80. Like that, no one's ever going to be 100% for somebody. You've got to compromise on certain things. I just won't compromise on things that are going to either downgrade my life or go against my morals or values, or if we are not aligned for purpose in life. Like, you've got to want the same things in life. Like, if someone wants kids and the other doesn't, where do you go from there? I just think you are the priority in your life. You are number one. Your life is for you. And a partner that comes into that has to add value to your life, has to meet you at where you're at and want to exceed personally. My only ex that I had, which was for 5 years, I definitely felt weighed down by him. And even just one comment I remember, I'll never forget this. I told him I wanted to train in massage because I was just doing my lashes, I was going into brows, and I thought, oh yeah, massage would be a good one. And his response to that was, well, if you want to do massage, rubbing up men all day, then I'm going to start escorting. And I was like, how have you worked that one out? Well, you're going to be touching men's bodies all day, so I'm going to be around women's bodies all day. And I was just like, what the fuck? But anyway, the shit he gave me, I ended up not doing the course. And thankfully, I did it later on in life, but I still didn't enjoy it. So it wasn't a service for me. But that restriction and that manipulation of, well, if you do that, I'm going to do this. Like, it's a good job I was so young at that point to not have it affect me in my adult seriousness life, because that was just, oh, how bad is that? Oh. Yeah. Oh gosh, he was horrendous. Like, I'd literally find on his phone that he's talking to some girl. This was when we had the Blackberries. And he'd be talking, some girl would pop up on a BBM message, and I opened it in the room of where he was, but he didn't see that I'd got his phone and not my phone, but it was on the table. So I opened it, and he'd said, no, not anymore. But her question was, have you got a girlfriend? No, not anymore. We live together. Honestly, some of the stuff, poor little me, that tolerated this shit. And obviously at that point I was like, I'm going home, I'm moving out. You're telling girls that you're single, not anymore, we're blatantly living together. Oh, it's because I was in the barbers and I was just saying it because the man dem were looking over at my phone. Oh, seriously. Yeah, so many funny stories. There was another one as well where we lived in this flat that was pay by, what do they call it? You pay by like key card, like the gas and electric is on a card and you go and top it up at the shop. I can't remember what the term is for it, but it's not on a mains where you get a bill every month. It cuts out if you've run out of credit on this card. So we'd run out of electric on this card, and he said, I'll go nip to the shop and top it up. He was gone for the whole night. He didn't come back. He ended up seeing a mate on the way, went to his mate's house, whatever, did everything else, but never came back with that card on electric. So I had to message my mum saying, can you come and get me? I need to stay at yours tonight. He's not answering the phone and there's no electric in the place. So I was just in the dark. I had no money at this point and no transport, and the shop was ages away, and he'd got the key card, so I couldn't do anything. But yeah, that was another one. And then there was another time where he'd gone out. Oh, it was this same time. All the electric had gone, and then the bath started filling up with black water. Like the water in the bath had come up right to the top. So my stepdad had to come and bring a plunger to try and sort the bath out. And obviously I was just in the dark with my phone torch. Like, what on earth? Like, this kind of behaviour is so bad. Like, I just keep saying poor little me, like younger me, just in these predicaments, thinking I loved this person. Crazy. There was so much disrespect go on in those relationships and situationships. Like, when I say my 20s were my lessons, I can't say that clearly enough. Yeah, the tolerance level now is very, and that's not unreasonable, that's just, I've seen this before, I'm not letting this play out again, my feelings come first, and nothing I've done warrants this disrespect. And they're very valid things. That's just, I'm standing by my morals, my values, and my standards. And if you can't live up to them, or you can't match them and mirror them, because what I ask for is what I give, then we're not meant for each other, and that's fine. Just get away. Get away from me. But yeah, I'd love to hear in the comments, I just bent my nail, that felt horrible. Tell me in the comments if you've had any bad, embarrassing dates or like shockers that you're happy to share, obviously. Yeah, drop them in the comments, or let me know of any things that you've noticed in patterns that you now don't tolerate. You know, share whatever you're happy to share with me. And yeah, let's just nip some things in the bud. Share it with people and shed awareness, elevate, do better, be better, attract better. That's the message for today. But yeah, if you like this kind of content where we just go off on tangents and talk about real life shit, then hit the subscribe button, like this video if you like this video, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the comments and I'll speak to you soon.